All right, so here we have a big board on Deming's 14/15 points for management. Now this is an overview, and I want to make sure everyone understands that yes, we're going to do an overview in this class, but in 388, most of the semester is based on the teachings of Dr. Deming, and it is a life-changing experience. You won't think about things like you did before going through his philosophy. And I can tell you, I cannot imagine going back to the old me from before I started studying this, and it takes years for it to sink in. Now, most people look at this little list, these list of 14 points, and say, hey, that's common sense. Yeah, well, guess what? Common sense ain't so common. And managers are being ruined by their best efforts. They're just not thinking. They're going short term, not thinking about the long term. They're destroying the spirits of their people, not building them up. And it goes back to benchmarking. This is the way to manage a business and all of this. And he's going, no, it's not. So let's take a look at a brief overview of the 14 points. Point number 1, constancy of purpose. Constancy of purpose means continuous improvement through employee and customer involvement. If we don't get feedback from the customer, we really don't know what to do. So our job is to serve society and provide jobs by staying in business and satisfying the customer. Now, would it make any sense to alienate the employees? The employees are a valuable source. Well, number one, their efforts are what make the customer satisfied, and they also have a wealth of information because they're the ones dealing with the processes. So we need to include the customer and the employees for our continuous improvement. Now, it also here is long-term, LT, long-term focus on quality. Most major managers, the big guys and girls, operate on a quarterly system. Every 90 days, they've got to show that they've turned a profit, and just to satisfy the stockholders and the board of directors for a very short amount of time. Now, during that time, if they don't show a profit, they might be in big trouble unless they have a good reason. So the tendency would be to have a short-term focus, cut costs, lay off employees, don't change the belts on the vehicles, show a profit. And this is what is creating a lot of their problems. So we need to have a long-term focus on quality, including the customers and the employees, to serve society, stay in business, and provide jobs. So, constancy of purpose, continuous improvement, including the employees and the customers. The new philosophy, similar to this, but one of his points here is to move from management to leadership. Instead of being the cop, the watchdog manager, to become a leader, to help people become better. Quality comes first, not budgets and quantity. It does us no good if we make 100 widgets a day and only 80 of them work. That damages our reputation down the line. We need to have a long-term focus. We have to stay in it. Well, quality comes first. If you sacrifice your quality, you're going to ruin your reputation, and before long, you won't have any customers. So, continuous improvement, quality comes first. Number 3, cease dependence on mass inspection. Quality again. Build in quality to begin with. Instead of just making stuff and then having to test to see if it works at the end of the production, we build quality in. If we know it's quality, it's built right, the employees are on board, they care, they're watching, build in quality, the processes work, continuously improved, then we don't have to mass inspect everything. If you just cranking out garbage, then you have to inspect it, and then you have to fix it when you find out it's screwed up. So why don't you just do it right to begin with? If you don't burn the toast, you don't have to scrape the toast, right? Okay, so now number 4, stop purchasing on price alone. We all are guilty of this on occasion. You buy those slippers or flip-flops for $10 because you didn't want to pay the $30 for the other one, and now the $10 ones break, and then they break again, and you replace them and they break again. We need supplier relationships. When we're buying raw materials, such as beef, for example, do you buy the cheapest beef you can get, or do you buy quality beef from somebody you trust? His thinking here on stop purchasing on price alone is many companies switch from supplier to supplier based on pennies. If I can save, 5 cents, I'll go to this person. Then this person will come back begging, and they'll knock the price down to 10 cents, and so I'll go back to them. When we're going from supplier to supplier, chances are we're getting inconsistent raw materials. And material, oh, it's from that manufacturer. Oh, well then it's not gonna, or it's them and theirs is more, something. It just confuses the system. How can we have consistent quality with these variation going on? We need suppliers who are capable of building a relationship, listening to our needs, which, our customers' needs become our needs, and move towards one supplier for each item. A lot of people say you can't do that because you can't trust them. Well, build a relationship. It's weird how the attitude is the supplier is going to screw you every chance they get. But once they do that, they lose your business, and then their business is bad. So if we just work together, everybody wins. The customer wins, we win, the supplier wins. Improve every process. That's what our videos today are about. The Plan, Do, Study, Act. Continuous improvement. We search for problems, try to find root causes, do our PDSA everywhere until we just can't improve it anymore. So, improve every process. Training for all. When we think of training, or when companies think of training, a lot of times they're thinking about the employee training. How can we, improve the performance of the employees through a training program? Well, really, I believe it's management that needs the training the most. If we could train the managers to become actually better leaders, then they can go train the employees. And if we have good management, then we'll have employees that are involved. They want to help. They like their manager. So training for all. And another thing is when we do the Plan, Do, Study, Act cycle of continuous improvement, every time we improve something, the process changed. So therefore, you have to go back and make sure everybody understands that the process has changed. So that's training. It doesn't have to be going to a all-day seminar. It's just training, always learning about how we do things. Institute leadership. A lot of managers think that their job is to make the employees miserable, so they'll work harder. They'll do what's right. Well, they fail to think about leadership. And leader here in Deming's world, the manager / leader is here to help employees do a better job. And a lot of times the manager is throwing out surprises, curveballs, giving dirty looks, trying to scare people, threatening them. That's not helping anything. We need leadership. Leaders who help employees do a better job, not get in the way of doing a good job. Now, what I was alluding to right there was drive out fear. Fear is everywhere for the employee. Think about it. Unexpected change, that causes fear in the employee, especially when they're not included. Dirty looks cause fear. Threats cause fear. Threats of punishment. Even quota systems where you have to meet a quota for the day, that causes fear and panic, and it's all distracting because now the employee can't focus on quality. Employees normally just naturally are in fear of job security. Bullies, lack of communication, lack of not knowing what to do. Training is involved there. There are a ton of causes of fear. It's everywhere. Well, it's the leader's job to drive out fear. We need employees who are confident. They're thinking, they can focus, they care. People in fear can't focus. Break down barriers. We need to become systems thinkers, not department thinkers. Even though we have departments, the departments need to come together and work as teams to satisfy the customer, getting the job done efficiently. If we have isolated departments, they're like silos. They're not talking to each other. One's doing one thing, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing, and it all gets mixed up. So we need to be systems thinkers, teams, not isolated departments. Eliminate slogans and posters demanding quality from employees instead of providing better methods. Maybe you have gone to work and seen the quality first. Yeah, well, give me the tools, you know? I'm not in charge of the supplies. Do it right the first time. Show me a better way. Zero defects. Oh, come on, it's not my fault. I'm just the person doing what you told me to do. It's not gonna help. Okay, eliminate numerical targets. As soon as you say goals and quotas, it means quantity over quality. If you say make 100 units, and you can say to specifications even, but the focus for the employee is I have to make 100 or else I'm going to get into trouble. Quality is not the focus here. Make 100. It doesn't matter if they work, make 100. That gets us into trouble. See, it's either quality or it's quantity. Permit pride in workmanship. People have a right to being proud of what they do. If they don't have the tools, are they proud of what they do? If the raw materials don't work, are hard to deal with, is there pride there? If we beat up the employee's self-esteem all day, are they going to be proud? If they're not trained, are they going to be proud? Encourage education. Open minds, searching for that fearless open minds, searching for solutions. A lot of people, once they get out of school, their brain kind of starts to turn into mush, and they get in a rut, and they get bored. And we need to open up that mind so we improve everybody, and then we all benefit from everybody being a little bit better thinker. Number 14, top management's commitment and action to number 1 and actually all of this. If top management isn't committed to doing all of this, it ain't gonna work. A couple of employees could read a Deming book and say, hey, no, that's not gonna work. Top management has to include employees, train them, drive out fear and all of that stuff, involve the customer, start thinking long term. If they don't and they're not committed to it, it ain't gonna work. There is no instant pudding. This takes a while. It takes a while to see the benefits of doing all of this, and you have to trust the 14 points. The story goes right before Deming passed away that a reporter somehow went up to him and said, are you sure there's only 14 points? And according to legend, he said, maybe there was one more. Enjoy yourself. Once we've been committed to all of this, and you can go read quotes by Dr. Edwards Deming, once you've implemented this and began to follow it, you can enjoy yourself. You're not frustrated. You're not enemies with your employees. You're not enemies with your customer. You're not enemies with your coworker and all of this. You're not frustrated because the processes don't work. You've done your best. We've done our best to improve things, to better satisfy the customer. We should have some level of job security because we're continuously improving. We're the best in the business. We're proud. We're fearless, and we can sleep at night. So there you go, an overview of Deming's 14 to 15 points. It's common sense. Well, yeah, but go pick any company you want to, and they're not doing. They might have one or two of these going on, but not the whole thing. So there you go. I'll step out of the way so you can jot all this down.